Okay, we're starting maybe 5 minutes early. This just allows me to get synced up. Comments. And mute this thing. Ah, damn it, wrong button. No thanks, I don't want red. Garbage. Derek asks, why no Felder hat? Derek, does that make you sad that I'm not wearing my Felder hat? Forgot to get something to drink. Hey Eric, how you doing? Hey Justin. Good, Derek's not sad. We can move on now. Just kind of moving around. I don't know what the best anchor for these fricks are. How about this? How about that? How about that? Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? I know Eric is deaf, but I think everybody else can hear me pretty good. All right. Eric, can you hear me now? Is that better? I'm looking at the screen. Can you hear me now? Good. Whatever. Crank up your volume, Eric. That's as loud as it's going to get right now. Yeah, I know, Eric. Wear headphones. Yeah, these are real hand planes, not the Grizzlies y'all were arguing about earlier for some reason. Cranked. Eric is now cranked. Let's see if I can get a... Oh. How the hell am I still getting messages when I'm on not disturb? Don't effing disturb. Yeah, it's on. Let me turn off my message disturbance. Do not disturbance. Good. Okay. Yeah, Sherlock with an E. Because he's British or English. Englandish. No, it was somebody else called B. It wasn't my wife texting me. She texted me earlier. Which force, Ben or Justin? Which force should I be using here? More subscribers. That's all the force I have, man. I mean, the 6 or 7 of y'all is about all the force I can muster at this point. I'm just, yeah, 4. There's 4 of you. So I think somebody actually left. We lost somebody due to the force. Yeah. I can't even repeat that, Eric. Okay, so why are we here today? What are we discussing? Kind of just an overall, we're not going to be using any hand planes today. It's just a discussion about them. Why would you use a certain hand plane at a given time? Why do you need more than one hand plane? What hand planes, which hand planes should you buy? The last question, the last answer is preference. Some people will argue brand. As long as you buy a decent branded hand plane, you're fine. Still gonna slice wood. As long as you get something decent. And if you don't get something decent, you should go bowling or something because you're just going to be frustrated. So basically, when you get a rough board, it's like not even a rough one. Yeah, they're decent, Ben. It comes down to preference, though. I'm no longer going to argue preference. So you get a board, such as this one. And that's right. This is actually right off my bandsaw. It's kind of shitty, but I was just pretty quick at it. So it's relatively, so which hand plane would you use to flatten this and get it prepped for like the back side is? So that's the feldered side. So this side's been feldered. See? There's a little curl in there. Actually, I didn't even see the curl until it was feldered. That's how good that machine is. So we have one side that's good and usable for furniture. Maybe a box at this size, or maybe a little apron. So this side, we want to get it flat, right? We do. So you see this little ridges in there, but it's not super, well, I guess it is. You can kind of see that. I'll push you back a little bit. Okay. So this is pretty wonky. Not side to side. So we know we have a low point here and here, right? We can identify that fairly easily. Hold on. So we've identified, this is a fairly flat piece of wood, bench, table we're sitting at. So we've identified, I get no rocking or minimal rocking at these 2 points. So these sides are low. So these are low, which makes, I mean, you know, if you're not a complete retard, you're going to understand that these sides are high, right? So the low sides are in red, the high sides are in black. Makes sense. The opposite of low is high. So we would just use, I use low angle planes because I like them. They're my preference. So that makes sense, right? How to determine where the rock is in the board. Y'all understand that? And it's real simple. You know, just flip this sumbitch over and it's moving, not moving. Red spots are low. Black markers, the high spot. So we would clamp this up in our bench. However, using the preferred method of doing so in your shop, which may be different in my shop, probably is. I'm just trying to get that light out of there. Fuck it. So I would attack this board with a jack plane. So this is the brand is Lee Nielsen. It's a low angle jack plane. So we determined the black was our high spots, right? So here's a black mark, right here. Here's a black mark. So a jack plane is for removing material at a fairly quick rate. It's not a finished tool. It's a rough tool. It's kind of like using I don't know. I don't have any machine, correlation to it. So you just want to basically rough out the shape with the jack plane because you're hogging off material. You're taking a thicker cut than you would with a jointer plane. So after I've gotten the rock out of the board, right? So now let's just pretend I no longer have rock in the board. And generally speaking, to make this faster, because I don't know how far, because this black we've determined as our high spots, it's not just in the corner, most likely. It probably goes something like that. Those are probably your actual high spots. And these are probably like where that red mark is probably your low spot, generally speaking. Yeah, Ben's jointer is a rough tool. Ben is a rough tool. So that's kind of the basic intro to hand planes. And this is skipping over a few things, but I don't want to lose y'all too quickly. So we've determined our high and low spots. We've used our jack plane, and you can use a normal jack plane or a low angle jack plane. They're both jack planes, and I use them as such. I don't have 5 different blades for my jack plane. I don't buy into all that garbage. This is marketing. So probably we have our board in there. We do a handle swipe. We can see with our plane that I was right. Can you see that? Usually a longer plane. Can you see that? You can see that light coming under there? It's kind of shitty. It's hard for y'all to see. But I just place it on that 2 edges of, let me have a reflection coming through. How about like this? I'm going to move the whole fucking thing. So you can see light back here, right? Like in the middle. And it's touching the 2 high spots. Just kind of have them roughly in the corners. That makes sense? Okay. That's how you use a large reference surface like a jointer plane. Just to see how screwed up your board is. Let you know how much work you have ahead of you. You can do that a couple ways. You can actually, normally you're not going to have a flat reference surface to begin with. So that's kind of cheating. But so you attack the high spots And no, you're not, Ben. So we attack the high spots with a jack plane of our choice. Low angle, not low angle, doesn't matter. Don't buy into all that hype. And then after I have a flat face, so I've gotten all the rock out of it, now I want to move up to my jointer plane. And I do that. So we've used our jack plane across the grain. Now I use my jointer plane with the grain. So pretty simple, right? Across the grain, 45-degree angle, right, all the way across. Jointer plane with the grain. So we're not even touching here, right? We start touching here. Hear that? So our board is actually pretty damn low right here in that corner. And we always have pressure in the front. I'm not going to do it. But to use a hand plane, you want to make sure that you're not, that you have good pressure. So when you're attacking, before the blade is on the board, see, if I put back pressure, it's going to lift the damn plane, right? So common sense, lower your damn hand. Kind of probably start at your low, come across, see where it grabs. See where it moves? That's where it starts to engage. And you just do that until it's flat all the way across. And right now we're just looking for a flat surface. We're not looking for a parallel surface, because generally speaking, this side will be rough. And you probably want to start with your roughest side, so you get that, or your cleanest side to get that flat, flip it over, and then do that side. So it's not wobbling all over the place. And then you're probably going to have some chip out. This is why you need more planes. So use the jack plane to get a flat surface, relatively flat. Use the jointer plane to make it perfectly flat, but you're still going to have some tear out from your jack plane. So use your smoother plane to go across the board, right, to make it smooth. You know, this shit writes itself, man. Does that make sense to everybody? I think that makes pretty good sense. Yeah. You got it, man. A smoother plane smooths. A jointer plane joints. A jack plane, come on, jacks. You got it. Oh, that doesn't make sense, does it? But it does. Low is the opposite of high. A jack plane is like a four plane, so jack planes come from four planes, or a triplane. Well, yeah, four plane. So because you use it before your triplane. Tried and trued, right, comes from making a board flat and parallel. Low is the, yes. That should be for this video. This is fairly elementary stuff. You know, but I feel like I'm talking down the camera, but I'm really not. It's, a lot of people just don't think about it in those terms. You know? Well, I read it. Yeah, man. So, kind of that's it. And, you know, it's confusing when you're first starting and you don't know what the hell's going on because you want to use the planes in a certain order. And you're like, why would I use that size plane, right? And then use a longer plane, doesn't even fit on the camera. And then use a shorter plane. You know, in your mind, when you're first starting, shit, the things should be numbered a certain way, so you use them in that order. But it's just not. Yeah, so use your jack, joiner, smoother. And the reason you use your smoother plane after your board is flat is it because it has a small reference surface, right? Like, look at that in comparison. So it's like over 2 times the size is your joiner plane from your smoother. I don't know, this is 5 inches, that's 12 inches. Shit, I don't remember. And this one, use this one as a roughing plane because it doesn't need to be perfectly flat because you're just referencing. Remember when we did the fucking light trick? Remember? You're just referencing off various spots. Like, I'm not touching the wood until there. Like, just watch me. That's where the blade engages. I'm 30, 40% through the board before it engages. Now, what if I had this big fucker, right? So I have this big fucker. I'm hitting the edge because I'm referencing off that high point already. And I'm actually, my plane is actually tilted. This is extreme. Extreme! So my longer plane, my joiner plane, is actually hitting the back of the board first. So it's going to take me a lot longer to make this board flat with a joiner plane because look at these high spots. Keep in mind, this side's been feldered, so it's perfectly flat. Like, look how much different that is from the bottom to the top. Same over here. I guarantee you it's like an 1/8 of an inch, 3/16 difference. Yeah, just look at that difference. I don't know if you can see that on camera, like as plain as day it is, as it is. But maybe that'll be better. No, that made it look shittier. See, it's like bowed. Let me catch some more comments. Yeah, exactly, Eric. With the if I just attack this board right now with a smoothing plane, you know, I'm already making contact because I have basically no reference surface. Not really, Ben. It's deceiving. You have to get the. There's a difference. There's a difference between flat and flat. Let me explain. See this rock? Right, see all that rock in the board? You use a jack plane to get the rock out of the board. So you have to do that first. After the rock is out of the board, which is the twist and the cup and the bow, we just all under one name, the rock, right? So after we get the rock out of the board, we put our jack plane back on the fucking shelf, and we grab our jointer plane. Now we get it perfectly flat. This is, you better be having flat material to build furniture with, because if you don't, you might as well be gluing fucking 2x4s together from Home Depot. Awesome. So jack plane gets the rock out. Jointer plane makes it flat. Smoother plane makes it, come on, I'm looking for you in the comments. What does a smoothing plane do? Makes it smooth. Yes. Hey Anthony, how you doing? Glad you could join. See, Derek is still trolling. He says this is a sander. But you know, you can think about it in those terms. What does your smoother do? It makes it smooth, right? What does like 220 grit sandpaper do? Makes it smooth, right? I'm not going to use 220 on this fucking rough surface to begin with, right? I'd be there all fucking day, right? No, but if I went through the grits and did 80, 120, 180, 220, right? Probably in quick succession, I'd argue that you can't get a board flat with a sander, but thinking in those terms, 80, 120, 180, 220, you go from a rough surface to a furniture-ready surface. Yes. Yeah, you'll never get as good of a finish with a sander as you will with a hand plane. Properly tuned hand plane. Make this brighter so I can fucking see. And also what people don't realize is when you're hand planing, the metal on the bottom of the plane, right, actually burnishes the wood. Sandpaper doesn't burnish. So, okay, when do we use this little fucker? So when do we use this little? I'll get back to that in a minute, Justin. Justin wants to know how do you tune a plane? I don't know. How do you tune a fish? So you use this guy on like edges, like just knocking off the edge of a board. Now I can't cut myself on fucking splinters. See? It's just fun. God, y'all got to get one of these. I can do that all day. You see quickly, you can put like a little chamfer on the board. See that little different shadow? I don't know what the fuck this way this is facing. Whatever. It's there. Yeah, it's the 102. This is the 102, Ben. It's a little block plane. I use this fucker more than anything else in my shop. Guaranteed. So how do you tune a hand plane? Well, easy. We've already gone over sharpening, so I'm not going to go over sharpening again. But let's just focus on the jack plane because that's what a few of y'all are saying that you need or want and don't have. I don't know. It's my fucking brush. My brush was on the felder. That fucking thing, man. I tell you what. Look at this felder. That's the fucking workbench. Look at that fucking thing. I have like practice pieces for inlaying. That's not practice. That's the real thing. So I have sandpaper on there, riving knife, so a little bit of filler for something else, gloves, some boxes, whatever, man. It's just a fucking flat surface. Sad, really. Anyway. So to tune your low angle jack plane, first, we're going to pretend like you've made a shaving with it before. So we're going to loosen this up. I'm trying to blow all the dust out. And I blew dust in my eye. I'll get that back in there. That still works. Excellent. Move it all the way forward. Adios, E. Eric knows this part, so he doesn't want to stick around for it. So there's the machining on a jack plane. We verify, first you verify that this piece of metal, see, this machine piece of metal is coplanar or in line with this piece of metal. And that's where your blade rides against. This little hook right there sets in this little groove or this little mechanism, it's that little small piece. So after we've sharpened this, put it back in there in the usual way. I saw a YouTube guy, British guy, and he's like, and then we attach this board in the usual way. What the fuck does that mean? There's like 20 ways to do that. I like his videos though. Derek, you missed. We're showing you how to tune up a hand plane. So this is real straightforward because it's a nice hand plane. We're not going to flatten the fucking sole of a Lee Nielsen hand plane with sandpaper. If you know anybody who's ever done that, punch them in the neck because they're stupid. So all we've done, you can do that like it's brand new. So right out the box, all we do, take the knob off if you want, Take this guy off, little blade locking mechanism. Take the blade out, sharpen your blade, put it back in the usual way. You adjust. So if you're taking a very heavy cut, you increase your mouth opening, right? If you're taking a light cut, you decrease your opening. You basically want that opening to be as large, a little bit larger than the shaving that you're producing. The closer the mouth is, the smaller shaving you're going to be taking, and the less tear out you're going to experience. The only thing that people have a hard time with, this is why people like low angle planes. I do. Yeah, Derek's right. Bigger burger, bigger mouth. Smaller burger, smaller mouth. Okay. People have a hard time with this, and I don't know why, with low angle planes. The smoother plane has this mechanism, but, well, sort of. People have a hard time advancing the blade correctly or angling the blade correctly because it doesn't have a fancy little knob on there. But, you know, this shit is so easy. It's like kids can do it. So I don't know why normal human beings have a hard time. So this is real simple stuff here. So we want to close our mouth a little bit. So we've closed our mouth a little bit, right? You can still see light coming through. See my neck? See that? And then you sight down. I'm showing you how to do it. So you sight down and see if that's straight. So look through. The blade's protruding a lot. So I loosen this up. Turn my adjuster counterclockwise. And I always adjust the blade forward in the plane to eliminate backlash. So, you know, rocket science here. So now, my blade is higher on this side than it is this side. How do I correct that? So if I'm higher here, so I can see that in the blade. Can you see that? Can you actually see that the blade is higher in one spot than the other? See, it's not, none of this is hard. Just got to get a feel for it. So if I'm higher here, so this side's higher. So all I do is like push the blade over a little bit on one side. Lock it back down. Now I'm perfect. Oh, and always clean the bottom of the plane opposite way of the way it cuts. Or, you know, it can cut you. So, a quick way to test this action We have a lot of blade exposed, so we're going to loosen it up. Bring the blade back. One more. So if you can't see it, you can just use a piece of wood and see how much blade you have exposed. A lot of people can't see that. So I'm cutting on one side and not the other. So little shavings. So now we know for a fact, we've tested it with a piece of wood. We're not cutting on this side, we're cutting on this side. So I want to move my blade. Quick way to do this is a little piece of wood or a little screwdriver. Move the blade over a little bit. You'll be surprised how little it takes. Okay. Now, you can see I have my piece of wood. These fucking people keep calling me. Now when you look inside, see where that wood is? Shit, you can't see right there. There's wood on both sides. It's about the same, so we're properly set up. Now we can loosen this up a little bit if we wanted to. Advance the blade. We're done. So that's just how you set it up. Yeah, somebody keeps calling me from fucking Michigan. No, it's some people about some cabinet software. They want to tell me if this is weird, right? Because y'all are a bunch of IT people. So this company wants to like install this software on my computer, but I can't like, they won't let me install it. They want me to give them access to my computer so they can go on there and remotely install it. And then they want me to pay money to rent the software, but they won't tell me how much money it costs. They won't tell me how long it's going to last. Yeah, it sounds like a scam, you know? So I just ignore them. The fucking guy calls me once a week. He'll send me an email next, and then he'll send me a fucking text. Hey, this is Ben from Michigan. Here's your software. Are you still interested? No. I've already told the guy, I'm not interested in having somebody remotely install anything to my computer, number one. Number two, you're not telling me how much your product costs, and it's a rental. Yeah, companies are doing that now, and that kind of pisses me off. Yeah, it pisses me off that you can't buy software from certain places anymore. You can't buy Photoshop anymore. You have to rent it monthly or yearly. So that, yeah, you get a 15-day free trial for Photoshop. But as soon as you get used to it, you either have to decide, hey, am I going to send you $200 a year or try something else? Yeah, that's different. You're not installing a CAD program. You know, I mean, if it was legit, I could just go to the fucking app store and download it, right? So anyway, the side to side measure or setup procedure is the trickiest on a low angle plane because it doesn't have that little knob that you just flick and it moves the blade diagonally. Your low angle smoother is a bit different in that there's a different style adjuster. So this is the adjustment mechanism for the low angle smoother. So, see as I move that, the little thing moves. You can see that, right? That's fun. You should get one of these, they're fun. And that moves the blade forward and backwards in the plane. This one also has an adjustable mouth, which is very helpful on a smoothing plane. So as I move this, that's hard to see in the fucking video, but see that? So as you're using it, you can adjust forward and backwards easier. But your side to side adjustment is still a pain in the ass. So that's basically fucking, hand planes usage and adjustment in a nutshell. There's more to it. It gets more in depth at certain times. But how long have we been on? 48 minutes. That's not bad. I just got an email from Bridge City Toolworks about their pencil maker. I'm just waiting for the time to catch up. Okay. Yeah, I just got an email from Bridge City about the pencil maker, which is an interesting looking thing. I think for you know, $500 or $600, I'm not gonna make my own pencils. Um, yeah, kind of, Justin. If you're still gonna need hand planes though, at some point, you're still gonna need certain hand planes. Yeah, I think there's a sizable delay here, just from what I'm gathering. I don't know if it's my adjustments in the stream. 15. Yeah, Justin asked, at what point do we just say screw it and buy a Felder? As space and budget allows, I guess. You know, you can do everything with hand planes. I did it for a while. It gets boring, and it's tedious, and it's actual work. So what would take me, you know, 10 minutes on this side, took me one pass for this side on the Felder. So that saves time. Time is money. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people just don't want to do everything with hand planes either, and that's perfectly fine. You know, I've never meant to say you have to have 35 fucking hand planes because that's stupid. You know, that's you really it really is stupid to do all hand tools at this point if you're doing it to make money. And you know, saying it's stupid is my opinion. It's not a fact. Because there are some guys that do everything by hand, and they get paid good money to do stuff like that. My point is, it's stupid because you know, back in the day, all the people's furniture that we tried to emulate, all those guys had apprentices, and the apprentices would, you know, there's one group of guys, call them a business or whatever. One group of guys would go cut all the trees down. They'd cut them at the little sawmill, you know, with a hand saw, or later in life with a water powered saws, and then later electricity. But they would do all that shit, you know, and dry the wood. And once the wood was dry, they would surface it, cut it to length, cut it to thickness, and hand plane it. And all the guy did, you know, when he was going to go build his pieces of furniture, that his name was on the building. So he had, you know, 5 or 8 people working under him, getting all this material ready. If he was a busy guy, he would say, all right, I'm making this cabinet or that thing or that table. He'd send one of his guys up the stairs or to the other building. They'd grab the material and bring it back to him. They'd put the material on his bench, and he would join the material. That's why they're called joiners. You know, if you never understood why furniture makers were called joiners. That's all they did was joinery. Joining boards together. That's all woodworking is. Getting boards flat and joining them together in the usual way. And that's pretty much it. There's not much to it. Then you come to the realization that all furniture is a fucking box. A box with legs is a table. You know, a box with a fucking lid is a box. Build enough boxes, you have a dresser. You know, it's all simple shit. So learn how to build boxes. But woodworking starts with flat, square, stable material. You know, unless you have that, you can't build anything worth a shit because it's gonna fall apart. A box without a lid or a bottom is called a fucking picture frame, Ben. Justin, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. No. So that's kind of it. I could rant on about that. Ben's shadow box has a bottom though, right? That shadow box, man, that thing's huge. It's the eclipse box. There's no shadows there, man. Turned out pretty cool though. Yeah, slightly concave. Yeah, it's like, you know, flat, square, parallel material, stable, cut joints. Put those joints together in the usual way, and you have a furniture. It's not much to it, man. You know, how you join that wood together, which wood you start with, and how you treat it and to what level you finish it determines if you make bullshit or if you make nice furniture. Oh, fuck, I can't see. There you go. There you go. I could rant on about that. I'm not going to. It's been an hour. So, all right. I think we're going to wrap this up. Unless you have anything to add or ask or figure out. I'm shocked that 4 people are still watching. So is there anything else we should go over and discuss, or are we pretty much done? If you have any questions, now's the time. I like to do these fairly regularly. Doesn't really happen too often though. I got real busy making that inlay thing. All right, so if everyone's done, then I'm done. Back to making drawers for this thing, which is our drawers are boxes without tops. So back on theme. All right, well, hopefully see you. Oh shit! All right, Justin wants to see the inlay. All right, hold on. I'm just gonna walk you over to where it is. It's still big at this point. I haven't cut it apart yet. I'm just gonna kind of walk you over here and point you at it. See? There it is. No, I will show you a better picture. So hopefully you can see that. This fucking door. Hold on. You see it? I don't know what you can see. That's it. I think you can see it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Hi, people of Melville. Yeah, I don't know. I don't give a shit. I'll walk you around. This is where I live. You can see the fucking mountains over there. The trees, and it's kind of foggy right now. So you can't really see too well. And these fucking guys are building houses all around me. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think the inlay turned out pretty good. To be honest, it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Let me shut this door. Yeah, the inlay was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be once I got the hang of it. Oh, now we have 5 people. Justin, that's funny. One of the guys, they're not really realtors. I don't know what the fuck they're called. They work for the builder, and they were like he was walking through with this couple, and I ran out there and grabbed him like, "Hey, when are you gonna fix my toilet?" And he didn't know what the fuck to do. He was just like freaking out, like, "Oh, Mel, you're such a kidder," and I'm like, "No, man, I can't flush my shitter." He's just like freaking out. I think those guys bought a house though, so it didn't really affect them too greatly. That fucking guy left a that fucking guy left a voicemail. You want to hear that voicemail? That's kind of funny. Yeah, he didn't know what to do, and I always play like I'm always in the shop. Normally, like today, I have the door open when I'm not doing video for you, lovely fellas. And then, so I'm always playing like really loud, very fast metal type music, like like heavy shit, not that crap you see on. So yeah, but he's a funny guy. I mess with him every time I see him. So I don't want people moving next door that are all like fucking uptight. That wouldn't be any fun for me. But yeah, the fucking guys behind the house, they're they're building. They built like a whole fucking street in like 4 weeks or four. I mean, like 3 months. So the views are dissipating. Anyway, so you've seen the inlay. That's about all I'm going to show you today. I got to get back to work. So, having said that, I'll let you go. Yeah, yeah, Justin. They build nice things over here in Colorado. Bounce. I just talked to Justin right now. They got like a fucking not a sliver, but it's weird. My finger. You're welcome. Yeah, I talked to Justin and Derek. I don't give a shit. This is kind of fun. Ask me some questions and shit, man. I don't know. So I'm not working either. Working from home is tough. Yeah, it's just weird. Let me check my other email, see if they tried to email me on that one too. Nope. Okay, good. Close out Firefox. Yeah, Google's weird. I can't sign in one of my emails on the fucking Google. when I'm using Safari as my browser. And because then it wants to automatically log me into that when I'm looking at YouTube or other shit, even though it's the same account. It's weird, but it keeps kicking me out. So, oh, also, I updated my website, and that's pretty good. Yeah, Justin, it's really tough sometimes working from home. It's easy to get distracted. Like doing this shit doesn't help. Because now I have to get off here and go eat lunch. And, fucking 3 o'clock rolls around. But the plus side is I can come out here for, an hour or two after dinner. And who gives a shit? You know? Especially if I'm putting finish on something, or I can do that all night in sand. Yeah, I really don't want to. You know? So yeah, but I guess I will. Other people have to work. Yeah. Over an hour. There's only 3 of you left. So, all right. As always, thanks. And see you next time. Bye.